2021 marked another year of highs and lows in the political world. Republicans and Democrats trading off wins and losses across the year.
And Fox 61's Jen Bernstein takes a look back at the year that was in local politics.
2021 proved to be different from the start. Connecticut's legislature sworn in January 6 outside in the cold. Protesters greeting them over a number of issues on the pandemic, social justice, as well as a large group protesting against repealing vaccine exemptions. Governor Lamont giving his State of the State remotely.
2 years ago, as your new governor, you welcomed me into the room where it happens. This year, that room has become a virtual room.
This all happening on the same day crowds were gathering in Washington, D.C., the insurrection at the Capitol happening later in the afternoon. But back here at home, new rules were put in place on voting for Connecticut lawmakers, including allowing them to vote from their cars as the legislature worked to safely return the previous year's session canceled due to COVID. Lawmakers trying to make up for lost time, passing major pieces of legislation, answering the nationwide calls for social justice and tackling systemic racism. Connecticut passed the Clean Slate Bill, which wiped away certain convictions, misdemeanors, and lower-level felonies after a set time period. And in bipartisan legislation, lawmakers declared racism a public health crisis. Connecticut also became the 8th state to put the Crown Act on the books.
But when is hair just hair? Hair is never just hair. It's culture, it's pride.
The Crown Act makes it illegal to discriminate against hairstyles that are historically associated with race. Lawmakers also tackling the much-heated debate over repealing the religious exemption for vaccinations. Despite years of emotional protests, lawmakers did away with it, grandfathering in any kids who are using the religious exemption if they're already enrolled in public schools. The legislature also tackling domestic violence, passing a bill nicknamed Jennifer's Law, which expands the definition of domestic violence to include coercive control. It was named after Jennifer Dulos, who is presumed dead, and Jennifer Magnano, who was killed by her husband in front of her children. And after years of back and forth, the legislature finally made recreational marijuana legal despite Republican opposition.
We're going to have a product that is legal for adults, taxed and regulated.
I think that we will regret this decision in years to come. I mean, similar to what we're seeing in Colorado, where they are trying to put that genie back in the bottle.
But in bipartisan legislation, Connecticut made sports betting legal in our state last spring. Connecticut's 2 federally recognized tribes, as well as the Connecticut Lottery, offering in-person as well as online betting on your favorite sports teams, as well as certain casino games. People able to place their first bets starting in October. In other political news, a scandal rocked West Haven involving COVID funding. State Representative Michael DeMassa, a city employee at the time, as well as another city employee, arrested by the FBI, accused of stealing COVID relief funding. That put the mayor's administration in the hot seat during November's local elections. Mayor Nancy Rossi winning in a recount and denying any involvement.
And I was the one that then went and reported it to our auditors and another agency when I did find it so that it would stop.
Republicans showed well during November's municipal elections, which some say is a warning sign for Democrats as we head into a big political year. Connecticut's congressional seats, legislature, as well as the governorship up for grabs November 2022. And Connecticut will be voting on one of its 2 U.S. Senate seats. Senator Richard Blumenthal also up for re-election in November. Jen Bernstein, Fox 61 News.